What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Today we're working on my terminal emulator. His name is Termi. He's a fairly new terminal emulator, but he has like some features, right? It like kind of works, right? Like I can like go into Bash and I can type like ls and I can type the stuff and I can backspace and I can like go through previous commands and I can like clear the screen. And I can type like get log and I get like something that's kind of reasonable, right? Um, we have like text on screen. I can scroll. Stuff happens. It's not the end of the world. Okay. So, what are we working on today? Today we want to look at when I resize the window like this and I scroll up, I have this like weird pile of crap that gets stuck in the scroll bag. And the reason for this is that every time I resize the terminal window, we say, "Hey, Bash, you're who's running under the hood." Or I guess we don't know it's Bash technically. We say, "Hey, process who is being controlled by this terminal. I'm gonna send like an interrupt signal called sig what is it, like reset window size or something. And when I do that, Bash goes, "Oh shit, the window size changed," which means that like if I've typed a long line here, Bash might go like, "Oh, well when they resize, I want to make sure that like the stuff that we can see is still relevant, right?" So you can see that like as I'm resizing this, I've typed this long string, and if I like resize it a lot smaller, he like kind of intelligently says like, "Oh, I'm off screen, let's render it differently," which is great, except that what happens is all of that stuff gets stuck in the scroll back because the mechanism that Bash is using to do that is he's just saying, let's see if we can I added a new feature the other day, and let's see if I can get it working. I have say termi log, and then I look at the module that we're in, which is like termi terminal emulator, and then I say equals debug. I actually don't know if this is gonna work. Oh, it is. Nice. So we can see if I go in here and we type ASDF. Let me increase the font size a little bit. Cursor gets a little bugged depending on the font size, but that's okay. Right, we can see that the mechanism that he's doing down here is he's echoing a carriage return, clearing out the whole line with spaces, echoing a new carriage return to put the cursor back to the beginning of the line, and then printing what he wants, which results in actual text being like fed into the scroll back. And so every time I resize, it's reprinting all of that shit. And so what we were looking at yesterday was if we look in the Bash source code, well, first of all, if we look at this this terminal, or let's open another one so that I can like resize it and stuff. If I look at this and I type like this, you'll notice that the behavior is different. First of all, my scroll back isn't affected. Second, it's wrapping. It's wrapping text, and on our version, it's not doing that. It's trying to like extend on the same buffer. So like, why the fuck is that happening? Well, if I say info comp, we get like a list of like things that our terminal claims to support. So console, the like KDE terminal, he's claiming to have compatibility with Xterm 256 color, right? And he's got all of these like escape sequences that can be executed. So one of these is like cursor move back by 1. To do that, you execute this string, or maybe we'll execute this one. Maybe that's a bad example. Oh yeah, this one. If you want to move the cursor back by 1, you execute escape, open brace, then some like bullshit and a D. And so if in our terminal, we have, Jesus, that's so big. In our terminal, we have a much smaller list of capabilities, and so Bash might not have the tools it needs to do this intelligently, right? Instead of saying, "Oh, I'll just like clear the line, move the cursor to the beginning, and write it again," he's saying like, "Oh, I have to clear the line manually by echoing a fuck ton of spaces," which is a problem. And so what we're doing is we're looking at the terminal support in Bash's source code, i.e. read line is like what it's using here. And I think, where can we find like TC strings, I think? Here we can find all of the things that it expects, all of the capabilities it's trying to use. And so we can maybe assume that if a capability is provided, it should behave more sanely, like better, more features should be better. And so the thought is, if we just go through and we implement all of these things, then our terminal will behave more sane, and then we can like kind of like back out some of this like resizing logic that we did to like hide this garbage. That's the thought. And so yesterday we got through a couple of them, and I think we're just going to start working through the list and keep going. So we got through @7 and DC. I think @7 was end of line, like hit the end key, and then DC was like delete characters forward. So you can execute a string now in the terminal that's like something like, oh, let's get a little bigger and clear. It's something like echo-e, and if you say like escape code, no, ASDF, we write some characters. Dude, the cursor's like fucking pissing me off. It depends. Okay, there we go. So we say echo-e ASDF. And then we might say like move the cursor backwards by 3 characters. I think which is D, I think. And then we might say now delete 2 characters. So in this scenario, if we write ASDF, we move back by 3, we delete 2, we should end up with AF. Which is not happening. That's kind of fun. Why the fuck not? Let me double check this in like a normal terminal emulator. This is what we were supposed to have implemented yesterday. Echo-e ASDF, move the cursor back by 3 and then delete 2. Yeah, so that's what we see here. I don't know why that's not working here. Unhandled CSI code D. Oh, because we can't move the cursor back. That's pretty funny. So we have to do something a little cleverer. We can say move the cursor. What we do support. Maybe we just don't support this. That's kind of funny. Okay, but anyways, maybe we can carriage return here instead. We do support carriage returns. So if we go back to the beginning line, delete 2, we should see DF. That works. Okay, so we implemented the delete command yesterday. And so now we're just moving on, looking at what's next. So let's look at the E3 command, which is the next up on the list. So I guess we can say, what the fuck is that? So we can like man term info and look for E3, which doesn't show up anywhere in this document. Does IC? IC does. So I don't know why E3 isn't in here. I wonder if E3 is like a deprecated command or something. Because usually they have like a list of these guys and they say, hey, this is the old name, this is the new name, and this is what it does. But E3 is not in there, which is fucking weird. I wonder if we can maybe we go into our like test script here and we had one of these many things. We say we're like manually executing these same things, so we can say, okay, let's try looking for E3, and we'll call it unknown for now, unknown, and we'll say print terminal string is hex. We have unknown, and we can print unknown, and if we compile that, oh fuck, we need n curses. Nix is kind of wacky in that like the operating system I'm using, it doesn't keep all of the like the includes and libraries and like the places you would expect. So you kind of have to like specifically ask for them in some cases, but that's fine. Okay, so we have E3J is whatever the fuck E3 is. Maybe we can look it up for xterm. It's still E3J. Okay, and so we can look up man xterm, or maybe infocomp xterm, and we can look for if that 3J is in here anywhere. No. Oh, hold on. Maybe the old term cap codes, the number in here is related to like how many of the thing they want to do. So we can look for we can look at our test.c and we can say, instead of E3, can you do like E9? Can you try to, like, whatever the fuck you're trying to do it 9 times instead of 3? No. What about 2? No. What the fuck? Oh! Oh, hold on. I know this one. We've seen this before. We've seen this. This is a clear scrollback command, I think. Hold on. We can find this. In the ECMA 48 specification, which is like, I don't really know what it is. It's some spec for which like commands terminals should support in a like, I don't really know. It's a spec. I don't really know where it comes from, etc. But it's something. And one of these guys we've implemented clear before, which ended with a J, which means that in this spec we look at man ASCII, and we're gonna look for whatever capital J here is, which is column 4, row 10. So we can search for 0410 here. Erase in page. And oh right, this was 0, 1, 2. But the parameters here are like, if it's 0, we clear up. Oh no, sorry. If it's clear, 0 is clear forward, 1 is clear backwards, 2 is clear everything. But then there was a super clear introduced by Xterm that was like clear scrollback. Where did we read about that? Maybe it was in the ANSI Wikipedia page. Ah, yes, here. 3. Clear the entire screen and delete all lines saved in the scrollback buffer. This feature was added for Xterm and is supported by other terminal applications. Okay, so is that in here at all? Info comp Xterm. So can we look for just like big J? He's actually not in here at all. Why the fuck not? Is it like secret and not exposed by term info? No, it must be. It must be exposed by term info because we can request it. Man term cap. Is term cap different? Like E3. E3 is not in here either. That's interesting. So where the fuck are we supposed to, like, now I know like what it is, but I don't know. I want to prove it. How the fuck am I supposed to know where it comes from? Info comp E3. Like, can I just look this up? E3 scroll back. Oh, wait, user caps? E3. The ncurses library uses the user-definable capabilities. While the terminal database may have other extensions, ncurses explicitly checks for these. When present, the clear program sends this before clearing the terminal. E3 string tells how to clear terminal's scrollback buffer. Okay, let's say, so what the fuck is a user capability? Before ncurses 5, TermInfo Databases uses a fixed repertoire of terminal capabilities designed for the SVR2 terminal database in 1984, and extended stages through SVR4, blah, blah, blah. Most of the extensions in this fixed repertoire were additions to tables of Boolean, numeric, and string capabilities. Rather than change the meaning of an existing capability, a new name was added. The TermInfo database uses a binary format, blah, blah, blah. Lacking a standard for the binary format, most implementations copy the SVR2 binary format. Okay. Tables, blah, blah, blah. Hello, it's my first time catching a stream. Followed your terminal and Fuse series. Great job. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Glad to have you. During the 1990s, some users were reluctant to use TermInfo in spite of its performance advantages over TermCap because probably of the lack of extensions, right? Fixed repertoire prevented users from adding features. I see. So TermCap had them, but TermInfo didn't, where our term capabilities are derived from our TermInfo capabilities. Okay. Although it was rarely used, it was never the speaker who actually used the feature. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So they're in the man page directly calling out the people complaining weren't the people affected. That's so funny. What a salty thing to put in your man page. That's really funny. Okay. So they had a point. ncurses 5 provided a way to detect non-standard capabilities, determine their type, and optionally store or retrieve them. These are defined as user-defined capabilities. Okay. So the ncrypt utility info comp have a command line option -x to control whether non-standard capabilities are stored and retrieved. So I say term info -x. No, sorry, info comp -x. And then if we look for E3, haha, now it's here. I see. So how do we specify in our term info? Like if I go into termy and I specify E3 is equal to, we'll just do the same thing for now. So they say clear everything. Why is this not formatted correctly? Probably because it's an uppercase E. So if I say this and then I cargo build and cargo run, okay, and I say info comp -x, info comp -x. Do I have E3 in here? A, B, C, D. No. No, I do not. I wonder why compiling didn't give me an issue. Maybe reading this man page will tell me. When compiling a terminal database, if-xx... okay. Maybe I should have read like 2 more lines. So here we need to specify -x in our compilation of the term info. Cargo run again. You accidentally put quotes wrong in the code. Was I not supposed to? Oh yeah. Oops. Good eye. Although, if I leave them in, I think that they're just part of the string. So I think that probably if we cargo run in here, we should still see the correct, we should still see it, but it should be quoted, which would be wrong. But we can look. So we can say increase font size, info comp -x. A, B, C, D. No, it's still not in there. Oh yeah, it's here at the end. I see. So here, but it does have the quotes. You're right. We have to remove those. But otherwise, it looks like that's good to go. Okay. So now we understand it, and we just have to implement it. So lucky for us, our existing clear command already deletes all scroll back. We actually don't handle the proper case, which is delete what's on the screen, but not the scroll back. Like everything deletes the scroll back, which we should fix eventually. But for now, we can just... Oh, we actually already handle it that way. That's pretty funny. So we already support for both versions 2 and 3 of the clear command. One is which is like clear what's on screen right now. One's like clear everything and the scroll back. We just issue the same thing because we already support that. So really nothing has to be done. Right? We just have to add that to the term info capabilities and it should be good to go. So if I cargo run now and I run my little test script that says like, hey, can I check what the values are? He does get that thing, okay? And we can call that now in our test script. We can call that this thing, instead of unknown, we'll call it E3. It's fine. We get it. Okay. So, easy. No work needed. But it still took us 12 minutes because sometimes stuff is hard. Okay. So, next up, I see. And maybe we'll even put a little note here. We'll say, this was a clear all plus scroll back user extension to term comp. And maybe we put the too long. We can't get it to show up on one line no matter what. Fuck. Hard life. Okay, I see. What the fuck is I see? So we can do something like where were we going again? Man term info. And we can look for IC. Why is my terminal off the edge of the screen? What the fuck am I doing? This is parm ick. What does parm mean here? Like, is parm some... What does that mean? All right. Oh, maybe it's like parameterized insert characters. Yeah, that's probably what it is. So it's insert characters, but with parameters. Because I think that the P star means something. P star. That means that padding may vary in proportion to the number of lines affected. Okay. So maybe we can look at what like info comp console xterm 256 color, and we can look for parm ich. What do they do? Is it param ich? No. Ich? Maybe I have to do -x? Huh. Oh. No, the thing, it's called ich in term info. Okay, got it. So they're doing escape code, open brace, some integer parameter, followed by an @ symbol. So what the fuck is the @ symbol mean? We can look that up by doing a little man ASCII, looking for the @ symbol here, and it is row 4 or column 4, row 0. So we can go back into the ECMA spec and see if we see 0400. ICH, insert character. Sweet, so we can read from the spec. Solid. Is prepare the insertion of end characters by putting into the erase state the active presentation and depending on blah blah blah. Oh, so he clears out that area, and depending on the setting of character editing mode, we'll ignore that before. So we'll just say following probably is all we have to worry about, I think. Character positions in the presentation component where n equal, so depending and putting into the erase state the active presentation and the following characters. Okay, so it clears them out. The previous contents of the active presentation position and an adjacent string of character positions are shifted away from the active presentation position. So this like injects spaces. The contents of n character positions on the other end of the shifted part are removed. The effect of ICH on the start and end of the selected area, or the start and end of the qualified, blah, 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 is not defined. So I think we don't have to worry about wrapping, probably. So I think what they're saying is, if I go into console, and I do a little test here, and I say like echo ASDF, and then I go back 2 characters. So this should work here. So it's like back by 2, and then I inject like, say like 10 spaces. I have to echo -E for it to process them. Nice. Okay. So if I execute like insert like 100 spaces. Okay, let's try less than 100. Let's try what's my terminal width here? It'll tell me. It's 62. So if I say 60 spaces, here it works. And here it just disappears. So that is the behavior here, is they will insert spaces until the end of the line. That seems reasonable. It would be interesting to see if in here, I guess let's write this down right now because I'm going to forget. So this is insert n spaces at character position. When end of screen is hit, in console, extra characters are just deleted. Okay. And we wanted to check maybe if there's some sort of parameter here. Man term info, sorry. So here we have ICH, insert character, but I wanted to see if like these Boolean capabilities tell us what is going to happen here. So screen erase the background color, terminal can refine existing colors, not erase, positive motion, erase overstrike, can erase overstrikes, I don't know what that means, generic type, hard copy, cursor, has status line. Maybe we look at the capabilities that Xterm claims he has. Insert null glitch, no escape, pad character. Nothing in here is like jumping out at me as something that would like configure this, unless it's like overstrike. overstrike could be it, like if it goes past the end of the line. But I think for now we'll just kind of assume that that's like the expected default behavior. Okay, so we can go into our ANSI parser, and we need to implement support for this thing. So this is ICH, and his final value is an @ symbol. So when the parser finishes, if it's got an @ then we're in this state. So we look at, boom, we say we are looking at the @ sign, and if we have the @ sign, then what do? We probably want to parse. We have a single usize parameter. Yep. Simple. And if we get it, great. But if we don't, we say invalid ICH command, we'll call it. And otherwise, say self.push a terminal output thing. So we call it output. It's kind of like you could envision like input and output like in two directions here. You could say like the input, how do I say this? Like, what is the input from the terminal, or what is the output from the terminal? Both are like kind of like, what is the terminal inputting to us, or what is the terminal outputting to us? Both of those are like kind of the same. So we're calling it output, and we're saying like he output a request for us to insert spaces, and with some number, which is the parameter. And this should be not self-to-push, output push. All right, and so now we need to add that thing to our list of things that we can do. What does input and output have in common? Put, so terminal put, except, there's a command tput, I think. Command tput s. Oh, that was it, maybe. Which writes to the terminal from us. That's actually like also an overloaded name. Names are hard. What did we just call this thing? We called it insert spaces. Okay. And maybe here we'll call this ICH. Maybe we should even say what this is. ICH 8.3.64 of ECMA 48. And we should really do that for all of these things, but we didn't, so get fucked. And who uses this guy? We only use this in one place, and it's here. And here it's insert spaces. And it's not mode anymore, it's num spaces. Okay. And what we do here is we're gonna say we have like a buffer that's kind of tracking our like current output state, and we can just say insert data at the cursor position. I think that's reasonable, yeah. So it takes in the cursor position. It's cursor state.pause. Here we go. And we insert just kind of like a space, num spaces. Except that we can't really do this because we need to check if we're hitting the end of the line and stuff, right? If we were to do this, it would automatically wrap, which is actually not what we want. So maybe we want something like insert data truncated. We'll work on the name. Which does the same thing. And we'll just note here, inserts data, but will not wrap. If line end is hit, data stops. Great. Cool. Cool. And he is gonna return some sort of insert response. Right, because it's doing the same thing. And here we have almost the same code, probably. So he pads the buffer for writing. This part's gonna have to change. So maybe, how do I want to handle this? What does he do? He gets like the line where in like this like buffer of text the lines start and end. relative to the start of the screen. He then is like doing some stuff to make sure that like, what if the cursor like goes off the end of the line? I guess we don't really have to worry about that. I wonder if it makes more sense to do this less generically. That might be easier. So we can say like insert spaces. And maybe we say num spaces here. Let's just see if this becomes a simpler implementation. So we can say let cursor pause is equal to, we implemented a function for this the other day. Cursor to buff pause, yep. So we take in the cursor pause. And then probably width and height of the terminal. Probably, let's just double check that. Width and height, perfect. Also the buffer. Okay, so this is going to tell me where the cursor is in the buffer. Great. Now, all we have to do is, this guy also will tell me, he gives me the line that we're in as well. So we can say like, let sum buff pause. Okay. We're getting a little crazy here. We also need to make sure that that's a valid place in the buffer, because it might not be. So we can say if match buff pause. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And if he's none, then we have to like, all we have to do is pad the buffer for writing. Because this pad buffer for write, what it does is it like, if we have like ASDF \n 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, let's say that we're wrapping every 10 characters. This will like turn into ASDF/n 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 1 2 3 4 5, right? And then say we want to like write a character like here. What it'll do is it'll say, okay, well, we need to make more lines. Sorry, so like this, we put in a new line. And then it also goes like, oh shit, we actually need to put in like spaces before that point. So we actually have to do like space, then new line. And then this is like a writable position, if that makes sense. And if the write was going to be like 10 characters wrong, it would like pad it with more spaces. So if we don't have that character, if like that position is like not writable right now, we just can call pad buffer for write, and we can just pad in the spaces. So we just say, here you go. Here is where we want to insert the space character. Oh no, it's just the length. So it's number spaces, num spaces. Yeah, perfect. And then we're done. Return. But we need to return response. So what is in this guy? He is the new cursor pause in the written range. Okay, so the written range is going to be the write IDX to write IDX plus num spaces. Okay. And the new cursor position is, I don't know if the cursor moves when this happens. So let's try this again. So we inject 6 spaces, and then we write ASDF. Where does the ASDF go? It goes at the beginning. So the cursor doesn't move. So here is just cursor pause. The cursor does not move. Okay. Cool. Cool. He doesn't like this for some reason, because I didn't write mute here. And what's it bitching about? There's too much. The binding write IDX something. Am I high? Oh, I see. It's complaining actually about done here. Okay. So we don't care about this stuff. And in the case where we have something, so we have the buff the buffer position as well as the line range, like where the start and end of that line are in buffer space, I guess we can call it. And what are we going to do here? So in this case, we have to insert spaces at that position. But if it will push something off the end of the line, that's a problem. So let's say that like current end is equal to line range dot end, and if current end plus the number of spaces that we're trying to insert is greater than the width, then we have a fucking problem. And in that case, we have to delete things off the end of the line until that doesn't work. So we have to say like what? Like let num to delete is equal to the line range dot end self width minus am I high? Current end plus num spaces. Okay, let new end is equal to current end plus num spaces. And the number of things we have to delete is the new end minus self width. Yes. And I guess we can only do that subtraction if it's actually bigger. So we say if new end is greater than that. Great. And so delete start is the number to delete. Delete start is just the current position. And the delete end is the buffer position plus num self width. Nope. Delete end line range dot end minus num to delete. I'm pretty sure that we're like doing extra math here that we don't have to do, by the way. It feels like we're going back and forth. This is minus we'll see. I don't know. We'll leave it like this for now. Okay. So we have the delete start and delete end, and now we just say self buff drain delete start to delete end. And now we can always insert the spaces. So maybe we should actually, like, an optimization here could be to like replace things instead of deleting them and re-adding, but I'm not really worried about that. And now this is wrong, by the way, I think. This is delete start should be line range dot end minus num to delete, and delete end is line range dot end. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay, so now at the buff pause, we just insert our spaces. So we say buff pause self buff insert. Is there like, do we look up yesterday if there was like an insert many? I guess it's vector on Rust. And is there like an insert a lot? There's insert, remove, retain, leak, len, drain. I feel like I'm missing. I feel like this must exist. Append. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't see anything. Rust vec insert many. It seems like the type of thing must exist. Splice. Ah, that's what I was looking for. Okay. So creates a splicing iterator that replaces the specified range in the vector with replace with. So he has 1 and 5, and he puts in 2, 3, and 4 in the range 1 to 1. Ah, I see. So it's replaced, but nothing's replaced. It's just the location. I see. So we say buff splice at buff pause. You could slice by range and then copy from splice. Yeah, but I'm trying to like expand the center as well. So I would have to like push stuff in, then copy from slice, but I just wanna expand. So this is where we want to insert with some sort of iterator. And so here we're trying to put in spaces. And can I say like, can I just get like a repeating iterator in here? There's got to be. That's got it. Repeat. Stood, iter, repeat. Yep. And we just repeat this value. All right. So now, where did we write? The written range was from buff pause to buff pause plus num spaces. And the new cursor pause is the old cursor pause. There we go. I've tried to create a fuse FS to allocate VFS for the cargo crate, so you don't have to have them decompress on your disk. The crate files are tar.g's archives is my proposal, because someone present Rusty needs to be able to read the crates from crate files. So you keep them all compressed on disk and then like on demand unzip them? That's pretty funny. Does it work? It seems like something that would work, I think. Expensive, but I guess if you're trading compression for that. There's also like file system utilities. It's like, I know like you can, maybe not. I'm thinking like I've seen like compressed RAM before, like just generically just like compress my RAM, and I'm pretty sure I've seen generic like compressed disk stuff with like ZFS and stuff. But I guess what you're saying is like you can kind of keep the like zip level, not at like per file, but at per archive, which probably has some benefits, like more space efficiency. Neat. Okay, we need to write a test for this, obviously, because certainly it's going to be broken. Test canvas, insert spaces. Okay, so we have a terminal buffer with our common test case of ASDF 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have what? We have happy path, i.e. no truncation, truncation at new line, and truncation at line wrap. So the happy path is that we just like insert spaces at like the position 2, 0, so like between the S and the D in ASDF, and let's say we like insert 2 of them. So we can say we assert that the response, I don't know what's in here, the like write range is 2 to 4. And is this like a thing that exists? What is this response? Terminal buffer response, and he has written range, written range. And this guy, he is going to say that the new cursor pause is just the same as what we injected. Cool. And then we check the data. So we say canvas data written, visible, I guess. And we say, please make sure that is the same as what we wrote in this stuff, but now with 2 spaces here. Great. And I think a new line at the end, because bullshit. Okay. 356. No, it was ANSI SRS 356. What doesn't he like here? Param is an option. Oh, we have to handle the case where it's none. Okay, so it's the default value has to be something. What's the default? 1. And we'll just kind of ECMA 48 8.3.64. Here's the repo if you want to take a look at it. I might take a look at it later. Sounds pretty cool. But I'm pretty locked in right now. Trying to keep my head here. Okay, does this compile? Cool, cargo test. He doesn't like that because this guy should be not ampersand. Okay. Failed. Capacity overflow at vector. Whoa, 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 whoa. Test canvas, insert spaces. So we did something hella wrong. So this is rust back trace equals 1. This is at the splice in. Insert space. Oh. Because it's trying to take infinite... Oops, I fucked up. So this repeat. Here I'm saying, like, at this buffer position, insert infinite spaces is what I asked for. Which is, like, obviously wrong. So we want take num spaces. There we go. Test passes. Simple. Okay, now we want to do the same thing. But check for truncation at new line. So here we're going to insert into this, like, which is now AS space DF. And let's just, you know, punch in like 1,000. Right? Let's just fucking see what happens. Oh, that's also not going to work, by the way. I already know this is fucking wrong. But here, if I say I want to put 1,000 spaces, we should get the written range of, we should end up with AS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is what we should end up with. So we should get the written range of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 to 10 is what we should get written as. New cursor pause shouldn't have moved, and this should be the output. But this is definitely not what's going to happen, because I know that we don't try to clip the number of spaces at all. So in this case, if the new end is greater than self.width, we have to modify num spaces. So in the none case, we want to truncate num spaces is equal to the minimum of the width and num spaces. And same here. So maybe we do that no matter what. And then in here, we also have to limit it again if we're hitting the end. So we can just say num spaces is I'm drawing a blank here. I guess current end delete start. That's where the end of the line right now. So self.width minus delete start is num spaces, I think. Not 100% on that. Not 100% on that. But I think that's right. So then we should only write the correct amount of spaces there. So in this case, if we write 1,000, we should end up writing like 8 instead. It doesn't like that. So we're seeing it's seeing 2 to 10 instead of 2 to 12. Or it's wrote 2 to 12 instead of 2 to 10. I see. So what probably ended up happening was it wrote 2 extra spaces because I made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, it has 2 extra spaces. Something about this looks weird. Let's look again. Okay. So I feel like we've kind of like overcomplicated this to some extent. Oh, we also have to test the insertion at non-existent buffer pause. Have a good rest of the stream. I'll be happy to see the rest on tomorrow on YouTube. Yay, thanks. Catch you later. Have fun with your projects. Okay. So let's look at this again. So what is like the overall expectation here? Let's like write it out in words and then see if like that translates to code at all. Start spamming chat. Oh, no worries, no worries. So we want to say, insert num spaces characters, but if num spaces is too big, shrink it. And if insertion results in new lines, don't shrink it or overwrite old data. Delete stuff that would wrap. So this is the case where there's already data there. Cool. We reduce the number of spaces. Seems reasonable. And here, it seems like the only mistake that we've really made here is that the delete start, this like new num spaces adjustment doesn't seem right. Or it could be that this whole math is wrong. Let's look at this again. Current end, line range end, just an alias, no biggie. New end is the current end plus num spaces. That also makes sense because we're adding some. If the new end is greater than the width, then we need to reduce how many spaces that we're putting in by that much. Num spaces, no, we don't do that. We don't reduce the number of spaces. So here is probably where we've made the mistake, is num spaces has to be self width minus buff pause. That's how many spaces we're putting in. Or the number of spaces that was requested. So the smaller of what we requested or end of the line. Perfect. And we can just do this right off rip. And then we don't have to worry about adjusting it again. The new end is this. And now, new end will never be greater than self width. Because new end is dependent on that. So, wait, no, that's not true. Because it's plus the num spaces. Yes. Okay, I think that lines up. I think that handles everything we need. We'll see. Yes, that makes our test pass. Very nice. And probably this is going to be right as well now. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, now we do the same test that we did here, except on the second line. So if we do this at line 2, and we maybe do it at position 4 or something, we should get position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we should get like 14 was deleted. So we should see like this. So it should be 14 to 20. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21. And new cursor pause should not have moved. And this is going to be a problem, actually. So this written range thing, its like purpose is to tell us, oh no, that's fine. It's like to tell the format tracker, like, hey, this range should now be this color. And I think I was worried that would make problems, but I think it won't. I think it's fine. Because nothing past the spaces. I guess so. No, yeah, there is a problem. There is a problem for sure. Okay. So say before we had like 1, 2, 3, 4 \n 5, 6, 7, 8. And 5, 6, 7, 8 was red. Right? So we like the tracker for this would say 0 to 5 is normal. 5 to 9, red. Then we insert spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this needs to be adjusted to say that 10 to 14 is read. So like us responding with a written range is not entirely reasonable because it doesn't now know. And actually, this must be a problem all the fucking time. Yeah, this must be a problem all the fucking time. Because when we write data, we might do the same thing. We might insert extra spaces, we might not. We might be padding. So how the fuck do we handle that? Written range, write range. Insert data. So the guy who uses this in terminal emulator mod, here he just pushes the range, but he doesn't adjust the other ranges. Fuck. Okay, so this is a problem in general that needs to be fixed. Which kind of means that I don't have to worry about it. Because it's already a bug. Okay, so we're just going to insert response. And here we're going to say, this written range, we need to fix me here. Fix me, need to split out overwritten data and new data. Otherwise, color tracking will break. Christoph T, thanks for the 75 viewer raid. Much appreciated. What's up, you guys? For those of you coming in, we are working on my terminal emulator. His name is Charmy. We're kind of trying to like improve bash support right now. So I'll just kind of hit the beginning of stream demo again because it's probably worth it. Git stash, cargo run. Let's see if we're in a good state if I do that. We are. Okay. So this is my terminal emulator. You know, he's okay. He has like some stuff, right? I can type stuff. But if I start resizing my window, what ends up happening is my scroll back just looks like totally fucked. And it's because our terminal is shit, right? It's not very good. And he doesn't support a bunch of things that like bash kind of like expects. So when we resize this thing, I think what was the termi log? Yes. So if I go in here and I spam stuff, you can see like when we're resizing, if we look at like what bash is actually sending to us as a response, he's going to say like, hey, I'm going to send a carriage return, put the cursor at the beginning of the line, basically put in spaces until I hit the end of the line as like an attempt to make sure that the current line that I'm writing on is clear. Then I'm going to send a bunch of other stuff, which is like fine. That like works, except that ends up like pushing data backwards in our screen. Which means that like all of this stuff kind of gets like duplicated backwards. Pain in the ass. So the assumption here is when I go into another terminal emulator, like a sane one, if I type a lot, first of all, it's like wrapping lines. Why is it wrapping lines? Because bash is doing some sort of like intelligent guessing of like, well, what can my terminal emulator fucking do? What are you capable of? And he's doing that by looking at these like info comp outputs. So like this is just like a list of things that the terminal emulator that you're running on like claims that they will do correctly, right? So like if I say, hey, to execute clear, you shove me this fucking bucket of bytes and I'll clear the screen. And so we're kind of assuming that we're missing a bunch of these. We're not assuming, we are missing a bunch of these. And so we kind of hope that if we start implementing them, bash will start behaving nicer and our scroll back will look nicer and resizing will be easier. That's kind of like the like overall game plan. And so what we're looking at right now is we're looking at this request that bash is, or okay, we skipped a step. If we go into the bash source code, we kind of can find this list of shit. Where is it? Here. Here are all of the like things that it will request of us. He'll say, hey, can you DC? And you're like, well, what the fuck is a DC? And you're like, I don't know. We have to like look that up. But okay, let's say we'll look at one where we do know right now. Right now we're looking at IC. And so that's this guy. And we know that that's insert spaces. So we can go into like the display code here and maybe look for what does it do in RL term IC. And there's like a bunch of stuff, right? So it's like, hey, sometimes it's cheaper to print characters and use the terminal capabilities, but if it has like this RL term IC, I'm gonna like change my behavior. If RL term IC, do this, otherwise do that, otherwise do that. And so you kind of see like, okay, so he's gonna like switch his behavior based off what's available to him. And so we are just going to implement those things. And that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now. So let's get stash pop, foreground again, go back into our test, and what were we testing? We were testing truncation at line ramp, right? So this guy says, hey, could you insert 10 spaces for me? And we try to insert 10 spaces, but if we hit the end of the line, we have to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're only going to insert spaces up to the end of the line. So we were writing a quick test for that, and then got sidetracked by it being fucking broken. But I think that test should be right. I think. But it's not, because there's a subtraction with overflow. Pain in my ass. At insert spaces line 216. Because the width, this is just obviously wrong. Width minus buff pause, that's crazy. Fuck off. So the number of spaces is going to be the minimum of the width and the number of spaces, right? Because we don't want to insert more spaces than there is width in here. Oops. Oopsies, oopsies, oopsies. Cargo test. What's wrong now? We are failing at 569, which is this guy. What is he saying? Left 2 to 12, right 2 to 10. Fuck, not this again. So here, he inserted too many spaces for some fucking reason when he tried to hit a new line. He inserted 10 instead of... right, because we need to figure out how far into the line we are. So let distance into line is equal to our current buffer position minus the start of the line. And then instead of doing self.width, so the number of spaces should be relative to how far into the line we are. So it's like self.width minus distance into line. There we go. Hopefully. I think that's it. I hope. Fuck! What's it complaining about now? So this is at line 228. So here, he's trying to insert at buffer position some stuff, and then he says, at range and index 15, out of range for slice of length 10. So what the fuck did I manage to do here? What the fuck? So I deleted some stuff, and I somehow managed to delete past where my cursor currently is? I don't understand. I don't understand. So my number of spaces. I guess we have to print this out. Print line. Num spaces is this. Current end, and we then can say like the delete start. Delete range is this to this, from delete start to delete end. Because we're trying to like delete characters that are like rapid, like pushing, that would end up off the edge of the screen if we inserted spaces. So we just must be fucking that up. We must be. There's no other option. So we have num spaces 6, delete range 4 to 21. That's obviously fucking wrong. Obviously wrong. Okay. So the delete end is the line range end. That makes sense. And so the line range start, this like num to delete is like too big. Why? New end is the current end plus the spaces. We need to make sure that we need to delete anything that would go over the end. So we delete minus self.width. I don't see any problem with that. Num spaces buff pause. Where are we starting from? And we can even look at the new end. Let's just log everything. One of these is clearly broken. I put an extra capital here. Swap the case. Boom. And okay. So number of spaces, 8. We're trying to insert 8 spaces. Oh, here, 6. We're trying to insert 6 spaces. At position 15, the new range should be 27. So why the fuck is my delete range ever 4? It should start at 15, no matter what. Delete start. Oh no, it should start bigger than buff pause. Because I'm inserting spaces at buff pause. Things after buff pause would go off the end. So num space is 6, buff pause 17, 15, new end 27. Okay. That all seems reasonable to me. So it's just this. Num to delete. Yeah, I'm missing something. I'm definitely missing something. Num to delete. How many things am I trying to delete? $17. Which is... Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, so the end of the line should be... we're saying that we're using self-width here as like, hey, the end minus the width, but the width is always going to be 10 no matter where the start of the line is. So we have to subtract the start of the line as well. Yeah, that's what it is. New end, what is it? It's like new end minus line range start is going to be the new length of this line minus self.width is going to be how many things we have to delete. Okay, let's try that again. Man, bugs are so easy to write. Okay, so now num to delete is 6. The buffer range is 15 to 21. That makes way more sense. And now we're panicking at line 578 because our assertion that should be from 14 to 21 is wrong. And is that true? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I was off by 1. This should be 15. The test is right, or the behavior is right, my test is wrong. Otherwise, we're chilling. Cool, and now we just have to test this like extra case where we try to insert spaces at a place that like isn't allocated in the buffer yet. So we have like this buffer, 3 lines, and let's try to insert spaces down like at like y equals 4, because that doesn't exist yet. And let's try to insert like 3 spaces at this location. In that case, we are expecting the new thing to be, well, the 4th line. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're expecting here to have inserted data at x position 2. So 0, 0, 1, 2, and we're expecting 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3 spaces. And that means that the right range was at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess, like, it's not clear what written range should even be here. Because... yeah, it's really not clear. Really not clear. Very much not clear. Because, like, how do I say this? Let's delete the assertion. So should the written range be everything that changed from here to here? Like, should it include these extra new lines? Or should it only include the thing that, like, we asked for? Saying what we asked for seems pretty reasonable, in which case it should be, well, this is like 26, 27, 28, 29, 30... 31 to 34 4 or something? Was I off by 1? They said 30 of 33. I could have been off by 1. Let's double. Fine. 10, 11, 21, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So 28 is pause 0. So 28, 29, 30. Yeah, okay. 30, 33. That seems right. That seems right. Maybe. And then the cursor position, we need to say it shouldn't have moved. The new cursor position is the same as the old cursor position, because inserting spaces does not move the cursor. Boom. We had 1 extra space at the end here. Is that right? We inserted at position 2, so 0, 1, 2, and we asked for 3 spaces, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, that seems right. I'm willing to admit that we didn't do the right thing there. Okay, so now we have this like capability of injecting spaces. This needs to be cleaned up. This is like, what the fuck am I looking at? But I don't want to right now, so we won't. But before I commit this for real and push it to GitHub, where it will be preserved forever and people will look at it, I will clean it up. Because fuck is that ugly. Okay. So we have some spaces to insert at the cursor position. And we have this many spaces. And we have some response. And we need to update the format tracker to say, hey, we wrote some shit. And we know that the format tracker is fucking busted because of like the thing we realized while we were implementing that. But that's okay. That's okay for now. Not too worried about it. Okay, so now when I run this, I think we've implemented it. I think. So let's do something like echo-e ASDF. We don't support this backwards by 2 thing. So what we'll do instead is we will maybe just carriage return here. So if we write ASDF, carriage return, insert 6 spaces and write ASDF again, we should get ASDF followed by 2 spaces followed by ASDF again. Instead, our fucking program crashes. What the fuck did I just do? Okay. So num spaces 6, that's correct. Buff pause 1074. Probably reasonable. Maybe we should clear before we do this. Okay. Clear. Okay. Okay. Number of spaces 6. Buff pause 28. New end 38. Then we tripped at 223. Sorry guys, there's an ad coming up and I can't stop it because it's like Twitch preset ad schedule that I enabled to like disable pre-rolls. So I snooze it as much as I can, but it's going to come up. So apologies to new viewers. You're about to get hit with a 3-minute ad, and I am sorry. I am sorry. Okay. So where was the buffer overflow? The overflow? 223. So that's here. So the new end minus line range start minus self width. Oh, it's because this if statement is wrong. If new end minus line range start is greater than self width. There we go. Cargo run. Cargo test first. Let's make sure that all of the other tests pass. And the fact that they didn't catch that is like a bit of a concern. But that's okay. Cargo run. I guess saying it's okay is like not really true. Should be okay. But you know, it is what it is. I don't want to fix it right now. And let's try this echo thing again. Hell yeah. So I think that's what we expected. Now let's decrease the size a little bit. So we expected ASDF \r insert 6 spaces. So if we insert like, maybe we'll do instead of ASDF the second time. Dude, what the fuck is up with my cursor here? There we go. We'll insert 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should see 1, 2, 3, 4. Then maybe like, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 10 minus 4 spaces, so 6 spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then ACF. I think it's working. And let's just double check that if we do that same command in another terminal, that it like does the same thing. So we can say echo -e 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is behaving the same, which is pretty sick. And we can also say cursor does not move. Sick. And now we have to flag that we support this command to the terminal that we're running in. So we can look for, what was this thing called again? It was called IC. Insert and chars. Parm ICH. ICH. Right. Right. So we go back into our thing. And we say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So ICH go here. And we can just kind of copy their parameter here. I'm pretty sure this will work for us. Hello, paste. Yeah, there we go. So this is escape, open brace. That's what we look for. Push a parameter onto a stack, immediately pop it off, and print it, and end with an @ sign. Pretty sure that's right. Pretty sure that's right. Okay. Have we fucked anything up so bad that our linter's gonna bitch at us? Nope, looks like we're chilling. So we can just say commit -m whip. Definitely should write whip here because I think the code is Garbo. And I'll say implement ICH. Cool. Cool. What's next? We are on CE now. So clear to end of line. We already support that. So we're chilling. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure that I've seen this before. Clear forwards. Delete forwards. Set wins. What the fuck? Did I lose it? I'm sure that we've implemented this already. No, get reflog. Clear. Huh. I remember writing a test for this. Did I nuke the code because I thought it wasn't relevant anymore? I might have. Which is a pain in the ass. Line forward. Yeah, I must have. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. But it is what it is. I think probably what happened was I implemented it for something and then realized after that we didn't need it at the time. So what was the code again? It was EL. Git grep. But I think that it's a commit that I like fully nuked. I don't know if git grep handles that. Git grep help. Does it have like a like reflog? Untracked in the working tree, no index. Can I do like git grep like reflog? That's got it. Where is this? Grep reflog. Grep only applies to commits reachable from branch head. You should use grep let reflog to search instead commits that are accessible from the reflog entry. Okay, so where does this come from though? For what command? Man git grep. Reflog? Yeah, it doesn't say here. What the fuck? Man git grep. Git grep reflog. Like, am I high? Search git reflog. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Nice. Nice. Oh, we can look for clear line forwards or something. No, clear line. Ah. I could have sworn I did it, but... Oh, it's not searching the content. Can I, like, show the patch? Yes, I can. So if I say now with patch... Aha, yes. Clear forwards, clear forward. No, okay, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. We don't worry about it. It's fine. It's not that hard. Okay. So I already forgot again what the sort of thing we're looking for is. It's CE. Hello? Oh, here we go. Clear end of line. Okay. So we are looking for clear end of line equals something. We can look for clear end of line. My C. Where is it in here, maybe? Erase in line. Yeah, here we go. So this is the thing that ends in K. ANSI? Yeah, it's definitely not in there. Do these guys have a K in here anywhere? Yeah, they have EL. Ah, because the thing is called EL, not clear EOL. Got it. So this here shouldn't say clear EOL. He should just say EOL. And he goes here, probably here, if numbers come first. And saying that he runs this command seems reasonable to me. The same as what ANSI specifies. Erases part of the line. Okay. Get status, just make sure. Yep, okay. So we do kind of the same shit. H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. This just isn't sorted in any way, shape, or form. Why the fuck am I doing it like this? But it's okay. All right. So erase in line 0, 1, or 2. Clear from cursor end of line. Clear to beginning of line. Clear entire line. Okay. So let's just say for now we assume that there's a single usize parameter, invalid erase in line command. If it fails, if he gets it, then it is let param match param. Yep. And we can say unwrap or 1. I think so the default was 0. 0, 0, 0. Let's just double check this. This is J. Check the original spec. Man ASCII, look for the letter J in here, which is row 4, column 10. Haven't I already looked this one up today? Maybe not. Erase in page. Nice. And so they have 0, 1, or 2. Default 0. Okay, yeah. We're chilling. So default value 0. ECMA 48, chapter 8.3.39. And so if we see 0, we do clear forwards. Clear line forwards. Sorry, not clear forwards. Clear line forwards. And anything else, we say unsupported. So we can maybe say unsupported clear unsupported erase inline command. Long time no see. How did the AI art ASCII converter went? I think that we got like pretty far. I got kind of bored, and so it just kind of like just stopped. It was like the complexity wasn't like as high as I wanted or as low as I wanted for like the different ways of doing it. Like the neural network was like so simple for the actual image to ASCII conversion, and then there was a lot of like when I started trying to like auto discover good pre-processing steps and stuff like that, it was like a pain in the ass. So we kind of just stopped. I don't know. Whatever's on GitHub is probably where we ended up. Uh, and sometimes it goes like that, you know. You know. And I guess here we can say output.push terminal output invalid if we didn't see something that we liked. Invalid isn't right the word, but that's fine. And here we should probably print the value. So here we'll print out value like this. Okay. And here we can add in the clear line forwards option, which I think is what we called it. Yep. And that means that wherever we use this guy, we need to implement him. So here we go here and we say clear line forwards. Okay. And clear line forwards needs to be implemented here, and we pass in the cursor position. Clear forwards there? Yeah, clear forwards clears to the end of the entire buffer, not just the current line. So we need to adjust this like slightly. So we should say pub function clear line forwards itself cursor pause, and he maybe will say option. Here's what I deleted. You know, if I deleted something, here it is. And this has to be a range usize, not usize to usize like that. Bad syntax. And we'll say let buff pause is equal to this thing again. Cursor buff pause, easy. And if it's none, we return none. There's nothing to delete if there's nothing to delete. So can return early if none. Nothing to... We didn't delete anything if there is nothing to delete. Okay. And so now we can assume that we have... this is the buffer position and the line range for the current buffer position. And I guess if we're clearing forwards, we just say self buff drain from the buff pause line range end. And we'll say let del range is equal to this. Okay, easy. And we say del range clone here and return some del range. Nice. That was simple. Very, very simple. Okay, and so if we have stuff, if we deleted some stuff, then we need to delete it from the format tracker. Which we already support. Simple, maybe. Look, my gut kind of says that's it. We should probably test that though. You know, little testy westy. Test clear line forwards. Assert false. Make sure we fail. Boom. Wonderful. And now we just have to say, I feel like I'm in the wrong file. I definitely am. This should be in the buffer stuff here. And so we create a buffer. We do our classic little guy. And we say, okay, let's clear line forwards at some cursor position that doesn't exist. So maybe like x5, y10, you know, y5. This should return none. Assert equal response none. Boom. and assert that the data is the same. So the canvas data visible should be the same as what we inserted, but with a new line at the end, because we inject new lines for some fucking reason. Chillin'. Okay. Now let's try to delete something at position x equals 2, y equals 0. So that should delete the df and ASDF. And the response should be that we deleted like sum of 2 to 4. Because we deleted the d and the f, which would be above for positions 2 and 4. Boom. Chillin'. And then we try one more at x equals 2, y equals 1. So we should now delete ranges 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to the end of the line, which is 12, I think, in this scenario. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe 5 to 13. It's all fun until you implement pipe. I suspect that pipe will be actually all handled automatically. I think I don't need to worry about that. I think. And we'll do one more to test the end of the buffer. So here we'll say off nothing to delete. Here we'll say hit a new line, hit a wrap, and hit end of file. I guess hit end of file isn't like a special case, actually. I'm just going to delete that. It's fine. That's fine, because the end of file has a new line at the end. It's fine. Cool. Cool, cool. So we run this. We run this bad boy. We can try executing a delete now. So let's increase the font size a little bit. And we can do echo-e. Maybe it's smaller. And we're trying to say, like, you know, ASDF and piping is just close and dupe before exec. Yes, but I think that, like, even there, I think like that's like a thing that bash does, right? Like my terminal emulator, his like layer of abstraction is like TTY driver in the Linux kernel exports like some like file descriptor that has just like input and output of characters. So he's gonna say like bash wrote some characters out and I'm inputting some characters for input. Input, output, this goes to like termi. And then bash is also kind of reading those same file descriptors. So I think that like a fork and exec is like over here at this level. Okay, so I don't really support like reasonable cursor moves, but I think I support some, just not all of them. Sorry, echo-e. I just can't remember which ones I support. So we can look at maybe the ANSI parser. He has some outputs. So he has set cursor pause, which is called from H, G. Okay, what's G? I can't remember G. G is cursor horizontal absolute. Oh, okay, that's good. We can use that instead. When I finish the terminal emulator, I should work on a shell. I do kind of feel like it's like not answering all of my questions. So there's a good chance that that does end up happening. But there's also a good chance that I get bored and I want to do something else. You know, it just depends. So let's go to like position 2, so like after the S. And then we'll say, please clear the line forwards, which I forgot the code for it already. It is K. So I just should be able to write this. Nice. Oh, and it's one index. So if I go to 3, then it'll keep AS. Perfect. So it looks like that's working. Looks like that's working. That's sick. Pretty sick. So CE, what did we learn about this? This was erase in line forwards. Oh, we also have to double check that we added to our terminal capabilities, but I think we did. We sure did. Nice. Do you have a priority list of the big questions that are interesting to you? No, Not really, but like the overall question I have is like, what the fuck is a TTY, right? And so like I see things that, like, you know, it does things like process tracking. And so that makes me kind of curious. And when I'm in here and I type like, you know, git log and I hit like control Z and it stopped, right? And then I type foreground and it comes back up. Who is responsible for which? You know? Term capability, not EL, not EOL. Let me double check. God damn. Do you know how many typos you've saved me from? It's a lot. Good eye, good eye, good eye. And so that's kind of an indication that we should have run our little like test here. So we can say, let's check for the EOL string. EL, which should be. And gcc-o test.c, we run test, we get EL none, so was it EOL? I already forgot again. Or maybe Tmux doesn't support it. Man term info. EOL. Yeah, it is EL. Clear EL, clear to the end line. So info comp grep EL. He says he supports it. Oh, maybe I didn't compile. No, he is. EL is not. Oh, because of the term cap string. God damn it. It's CE here. Oy, oy, oy. Because the term cap is the old way, EL is the new way. Okay. So here he owns this, and then we look at our version, cargo run. And we run test again. We want to make sure that we see the same escape sequence. And we do. Chillin'. Job background and foreground is definitely some PTY shenanigans. Yeah, so like that's kind of what I mean though. Is like I don't really understand like if I type foreground, is that like what does that do? I guess we can probably find out. strace, like which foreground? It's like a process. It's not a process. So like who knows? What is your opinions about Web3? Big meme, crypto bros. Like I think that the term Web3 is like an insult to like all previous tech. I feel like, right? Where like it's just like Bitcoin. We'll call it Web 3.0. Like, and it's like what? Like that's what? What does that have to do with the web at all? Right? Like, let's get. Well, we will say I'm very uninformed, but I definitely have a skew against that whole, like that whole area of the internet. I'm not really convinced. Yeah, Web 2.0 was already a buzzword in the late 2000s. I feel like it at least was more on topic, though. If I remember correctly. It was like, hey, we have like a, like, was Web 2 LAMP? Is that? Supporting web access with Nicki Minaj's WAP. Did not resurface until 2002, blah, 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 made it easy. So what does it mean? Web we know, browser window. Oh, Web 2 was like apps? Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I'm also bad at names in general. In general, I'm like, concepts I'm like okay with, but remembering like which names tie to which concepts is like, I struggle with as a whole, so. Anyways, off topic. Not important, but big meme in my opinion. I forgot to commit, probably. Yep, and this all looks reasonable, nothing crazy. Cargo format, lint, you know. We hit the usual suspects. Good, git status. Git add-u, git commit-m, implement, erase. Can we maybe look in the standard for its real name, ed array implement bcma 48. No, like erase line forwards. We'll just call it that. Whatever Web3 is, I'm sure it's related to AI and therefore a meme. I think it's even worse. I think Web3 was related to blockchain. If it was related to AI, I would feel like maybe less like repulsed by the term, right? Like, what crypto's like, it's not even. I can't even imagine a way that crypto. I guess I can't imagine a way AI would be related either. But AI seems like a bigger leap in tech overall than like blockchains, right? Blockchains are like, I don't know. I'll say in my opinion, I don't understand what was wrong with GPG, right? You have like you put your GPG key on the internet, you sign your shit, and there you've got your NFT. Like I don't understand. I don't understand. But like, we're late on the shit on NFTs meme, I think, by like a couple of years. Okay. Next one. CL. Man. Where were we? We're somewhere in here. One of these many windows. Man. Term info. Yeah, but you can't get funding on GPG. That's a really good point. No VC money for GPG. Clear screen. And home cursor. What does home cursor mean? Spec will probably have clear terminology means. Does home cursor just probably means top left? Probably. Clear. This is called clear here. No clear in here. But we can look at info comp xterm, look for clear, and he's using 2J, clear all. Okay, so I think we just support this already. This is fine. We actually definitely already support this. Cat ter res, because that was like the first thing we implemented. So we can just say this is done. I guess we should add it to our test though. We should add it to our test. Just to double check. Just to double check. So this is CL, 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 CL. GCC, test, great, that's a string of some sort, and we can then cargo run and run the test again. And we do, in fact, get some code. This says go to the beginning of the screen, then clear everything. Great. We're chilling. We're chilling. Maybe we can squeeze in one or two more. We have 20 minutes left. We'll see how hard CR looks, and if it looks easy, we'll try it. But if it does not, then we'll have to, maybe take a little bit of a break skis and come back tomorrow. Okay. Man info comp. What the fuck is this? Not even showing. Oh, CR is just a fucking new line. Info comp dash, or it's just a character turn. Right? It's just character turn. Must be what they're saying, right? No. Oh, that's capital CR. CR / R. Certainly we have that already. Info comp termi. Oh, oops. This is not right. I should actually delete that file. rm-r term info. That's scary. I don't want that there. Cargo run. Nope. Cargo run. Info comp. We do have CR is one of the things we already support, so we'll we'll call that done. DC. What's DC? Man info. Man term info. Delete character. DCH1. Ooh, we implemented delete characters the other day. So DCH1 is probably just a specialized case of the general delete character, which we already support. So it should just be we go into our terminal info, and we have DCH, and so DCH1 is just the same thing, but without all of these parameters. Yeah, that's just the same. And we can test that by going into our termi and double checking. But it should be something along the lines of we type ASDF, right? We go back to some position. Maybe we go to column 3, and we just execute a delete with no arguments. That should delete the F. Maybe we go to 2G. Oh, no, it's one index. So 3. 1, 2, 3. That should delete the D in ASDF. But I forgot to echo -E. Yeah, okay. So we're chilling. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about there. Easy. Easy. Wow, we're fucking cooking now. What's EI? Man, info comp. No, term info. EI. No, that's, I typed IE. I want EI. There we go. Exit insert mode. Oh, fuck off. That's like VI key bindings? VI key bindings are not handled by the terminal, but they're handled by... No way. VI key bindings are handled by the emulator? That's so odd. What a weird decision. Because couldn't they just be completely handled by bash? Right? I guess not, because the cursor has to move, but I could like type an H and it could ask me to move the cursor. That's surprising to me. What's the video of the brick walls? Like recreation of a Windows 95 screensaver that I wrote in Godot as one of my first stream projects because I didn't want people to get bored. Because coding is fucking boring, right? But you know what's not boring is staring at a really boring video. Staring at the really boring video tricks my brain. It goes, wow, 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 I can't stop looking. Yeah. I think somebody pointed out recently that the randomization's broken, though, so it's just doing the same fucking map over and over and over again, which is a bug, but, you know, I haven't fixed it, so see if you can memorize it. That's the trick. You have to see if you can memorize the path. Wow, it's actually really short. I almost want to restart it because it's so bad this time, but we'll ignore it. So E, I think I'm just not going to do. I'm going to say, I don't want Vim keybinds because that's insane. That's an insane thing for me to want to implement. What about IC? Insert character. Insert character seems like it should be really... But what character? Like, isn't insert character the same as just typing a fucking letter? Let's see, what do other people do? ICH. Oh, this is the thing we implemented earlier today. So ICH1... Hold on, did we already support this? Maybe it's like automatically handled for us. If we go into test.c and we look for IC. Oh, this is lowercase ic. Interesting. Okay, gcc-out. I wouldn't be shocked if, because we have like the generic version, if oh, that's just not implemented here. Which is reasonable. Like, maybe it falls back on that in, like, the happy path. Because it does seem like there's no reason. Like, if I look at man term info ICH1, if we have ICH, then we shouldn't need ICH1. But I guess we could just specify it anyways. ICH1 is just the same as ICH. Info comp -x xterm, and we can look for ICH1. But I guess if xterm doesn't do it, then like we don't have to. Xterm doesn't, we won't. Right? Because like we don't have to be more compatible than xterm. That's insane. That's like an unreasonable target. Okay, what about IM? Enter insert mode? No, Vim keybind. Fuck that noise. Okay, what about KD? Gotta be KD. Delete character key. KDCH1. Okay, do we have that already? KDCH1. No, but I think that... Oh, we haven't implemented the delete key at all. 10 minutes? We can squeeze it in. We can definitely squeeze it in. That's possible. We can bang that one out. Okay, so this is delete key. So this is it asking me, hey, what button is pressed when you press delete? And apparently in Xterm, it's escape code, open brace 3 squiggly. I wonder where we can like look this up. Where can we look this up? Probably it's going to be the same as delete here. Delete character here. And so he ends in 0500, which in ASCII is 05P. Fuck. So where does the squiggly come from? And why is it 3 squiggle? That's a weird escape code for it to be using for delete character. I don't know where this would come from. Can we like info comp GNOME terminal? What is like GNOME terminal? Oh, maybe I don't have GNOME terminal installed. Info comp console, that's using. Do they have K delete character 1? It's the same thing. Squiggle. Escape open brace 3 squiggle. What a weird code. Which makes me less confident in my ability to bang it out. Like, we could just copy paste it, right? But I want to know why they do it that way. That's part of the fun. I wonder if it's like key F10 here. They're doing 21 squiggle. So maybe the squiggle is like a user-defined thing. Do I see any tildes in here? Hum. Delete key, ANSI code. Like, where does this come from? Delete character. Oh, 127. I've seen this where it's just like a normal code, which I think is what we're doing. Oh, let's where have I seen this? Where have I seen this? I saw this in a man page somewhere. No, maybe it was Term iOS. V erase? Yes, okay. So here in iCanon mode, they do these versions for erase. And none of these match up with that e-squiggle. That e-squiggle is like, hey, when you're in application mode, it switches, probably. So if I did something like, go back to console. So we could say script-i input log. And when I type delete here, we probably do not get that e-squiggle. Oh, we do. We do, right here. 3 squiggle. So maybe they're intentionally bypassing the delete key that... Oh, the V erase was for backspace, not for delete. Fuck, those are different. Okay. I don't think I'm going to find the answer to this in the next 7 minutes. So I'm going to call it there and say, thank you for watching, guys. I think we covered a good amount of stuff today. We implemented this like insert character, erase in line forwards, and everything else I guess kind of came for free. Right? Well, what was CL? We didn't even write these. I think these were just like, whoops, easy peasy, I think. Yeah, because ICH and erase in line forwards, the only things that we have like real implementations for. Oh, I guess we can check actually before we finish off. Let's see if that changed bash behavior at all. So we can like, oh, we want to have debug logging on. And it would be interesting to see if when we resize here. Oh, look, it did. Look, we've changed our behavior. And before we were seeing that at the, oh, our scroll back's so much better now. Look at this. Our scroll back isn't fucking going off edge of screen anymore. Oh, that's so sick. Because now, instead of, oh, well, in some cases it is, I guess. Huh. I don't know what changed. But what, oopsies. Clear. In this case, this was the test case before that was like really fucking shit up. Where we were getting like dollar signs like fucking everywhere. And now, because the code that's coming back is no longer carriage return space, 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 but he's doing carriage return clear line forwards, it's behaving way more sanely. That's super cool. That's super cool. Which actually might mean that we can back out some of that hack, but we'll try that maybe when we get a little farther. Pretty happy there. Okay, so what did we do today? We implemented insert characters, deleted line forwards, things are chilling. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, I stream most days at around 1 or 2 o'clock Pacific time for around 1 or 2 hours. We kind of did an earlier one today, so 1 o'clock for 2 hours, but it varies. We're working on this terminal emulator right now, and I'm still feeling pretty interested, so I expect that we'll be working on this one for a bit longer. But in reality, what we really do is whatever I feel like working on is what we get shown. So we've done some like AI, some operating systems, some 3D, some like file system, virtual file system stuff. You know, we're kind of like just trying to find something interesting, something that I don't know how it works, that we can implement it and figure it out. So if you like that kind of content, swing back by. There's a YouTube link in the Twitch description where you can like go see all of our previous projects, as well as you know, maybe if you hit a subscribe and see when new VODs come up if you miss stream. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a Twitch link in the YouTube description, and you should swing by if you're ever online at 1 or 2 p.m. and wanting to watch someone code. There's a GitHub link there too, where code eventually goes up in like a prettied up form. Sometimes you might find some branches in there if you're looking for real goodies, but the master branch will have cleaned up versions of what we've been working on. And I think that's all I have to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!